are you dating now? One, and then also my other question to you, if you are, is like, how are you navigating trying to make sure that you don't fall back into that same like dynamic? Because I think it can be difficult for us as men because there's so much, there's so much language and like there's so many people that's kind of like pressuring us to kind of, assemble or get those roles or,
And social media is horrible.
Yeah.
Social media is like, don't go on Instagram, Twitter,
Agreed.
TikTok for any dating advice, right? Because it's like the culture is the culture of like the expectation that women, to the extent that we're in heterosexual relationships, right? That the expectation is that women, you have to give, whoever you're dating money every week for their nails and their hair. It's just like, and if you don't do that, you must be a sucker, right? Or a simp, right? So like, I feel like that completely just skews the whole dynamic. But today, I am in a relationship. I'm in a committed relationship. And I think your question was, what have I learned?
Okay. I wanted to touch on a point that he said where it's just like for men, especially for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, where when it comes to young, impressionable men, and even men are in their 20s to mid 20s and even like going into late 20s, 30s, like don't go to social media and social media gurus and stuff, and especially dating podcasts, because I see a lot of people with podcasts and some people don't need a podcast. So I really think that turning to social media as far as podcasts and just be like, oh, you should be doing this for your partner, you should be doing that for your partner, don't do it, because that's just comparison and you're listening to someone else for advice. But when it comes to dating, I think what's really influential and beneficial is like noticing in your life who has positive and uplifting relationships that you can identify, and I would advise you to seek them and ask them for guidance and counseling. And for men, seek out Black men or just men in general who you see as successful in their relationships. And it can go as like, hey, they've been partnered for a long time, or they've been married for a long time and they seem relatively happy. But you never know, because looks can be deceiving and you don't know everyone's story. So identify people in your immediate circle or in your life, whether it be people in your community, people at church, people, some of your friends, some of your family members who have positive relationships that you can see, and just ask them, hey, like, what are you doing to be able to foster this healthy relationship and manage your mental health and just dating in general? Like, I agree with the points where it's just like, hey, you don't have to, like define dating as far as, giving girls like, money to, like each week for allowance or to do their nails and everything. Cause let's be real, it's unrealistic. And I don't think that men should be able to, they shouldn't be defined to their worth as a dollar sign. I truly believe that, because men is more than a dollar sign, and we're more than just providers, we're more than just protectors, and we're more than just providing safe space. But I do agree that we are definitely more than a dollar sign. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women who do see us as like, oh, men, they can give me money and, they can provide a lifestyle that I want. But there's more to men than meets the eye than just money. So let's continue.
Essentially, right? Like, what am I
how do you not fall back into that?
And how do I not fall back? I think it's just been years, man. Years of, really learning how to love myself. I think that's as purely and as simply as I can state it.
Yes.
It's that, when we are over giving, and to use an overly used cliche, right? When we're giving from an empty cup, it's like you have no choice but to feel depleted. Right. And so I think it's really reorienting that love from being external and sort of kind of from myself to the other person, to say, what would it look like for me to give myself a fraction of that love, right? Just 10% of that. What would it look like? And then really focusing on that.
And how did you do that?
I mean, therapy, right? So it's like therapy was really helpful because it helped me identify where the holes were, right? And so where the gaps were. And I think that's kind of like, and that goes back to like childhood trauma, like ways that you were abandoned, right? Like a lot of us as men are giving because we're afraid to be left alone, right? And we're afraid of being lonely, which we can get into. I mean, there's the difference between being alone and being lonely, right?
Yeah.
But we're afraid of it. And so I think we overcompensate with either, our financial abilities, right? Our ability to produce, our ability to dress a certain way, our ability to like command a room and like show up, our persona and our ego look in a certain way. So I think we tend to overcompensate because of that, because we're giving from this place of emptiness and from a place where we kind of wanted something for ourselves in that moment. So I think it's just learning that. It's just like taking the time to really learn myself, learn what was it that I needed to kind of heal in those moments, and identify those pockets and actively go in there and really like excavate and really do that work.
I agree. So I'm gonna just say this. Men, no matter if you're black, no matter if you're white, no matter if you're Hispanic, no matter if you're Asian, Indian, I don't care. Go to therapy. Yeah, I said it. Go to therapy. Even if there's nothing wrong, still go to therapy. I think that having a therapist and being in therapy, unfortunately, has been stigmatized and has this negative connotation of just saying, oh, if you're in therapy, something's wrong with you, when it's not really that. I say that being in therapy is one of the most beautiful things that a man can do, because he's tackling his inner drama. He's tackling his demons, and he's getting out all the frustration and whatever that he's holding on and pinting up to. He's getting it out, and he's talking to a professional about it, and they're unpacking it, and they're deconstructing it, and they're getting to the root of it, and they're handling childhood trauma. They're handling trauma that they endured in middle school, high school, they're in college, whether it be bullying, whether it be cyberbullying, whether it be teasing, low self-esteem, building confidence, whatever it may be. I honestly think that every person, man and woman, should be enrolled in some type of therapy or have a person to talk to about these things, so that way they can feel safe to share and express what's going on without feeling judged or without feeling attacked. Because I know that, unfortunately, in the Black community, if you share like, hey, I'm going through this and I might need to go to therapy, they're like, oh, well, what do you need to go to therapy for? Like, like, just talk to someone and get it done. But I don't think it's necessarily the same as far as going to someone and going to a licensed therapist, and they're giving you practical things, and you can look at things in a different point of view and see where they're coming from, and they'll give you homework so that you can reflect and think, and you can sit by your bedside and be like, you know what they said? They said something impactful, and they said something true. So you know what? I'm going to practice this tomorrow, or I'm going to practice that tomorrow, or today I did good at this. Today I didn't do good at this, and I shouldn't repeat it tomorrow. But it allows a journey of self-reflection, but also holding yourself accountable into wanting to be a better person for yourself. And as someone who's enrolled in therapy myself, I can say it's the best investment that a man can make into his personal development and just wanting to be the man that you want to be at the end of the day. But let's get back into the video and wrap up and see what he's talking about.
Because again, you can't show up incomplete. Any relationship that you're in is going to be a mirror, is going to surface those areas of your life that you have not addressed. And so I think I just didn't want to experience that anymore. And so it's it's a daily job, right? It's a labor of love. I wouldn't say that I'm in any way, shape, or form fully healed or fully at a point where I don't experience some challenges. But I will say that, coming from that particular breakup, we all have these moments in our lives and relationships that really are fundamental and change us. And so for me, back in 2012, 2014, that's what I experienced. And I was like, I don't want to ever let that affect the rest of my life.
Right. How long were you in that relationship for?
It was like 8-9 years. On and off. Some of it was long distance. And I'm talking about like not New York, DC. It was like Europe, New York.
Oh,
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to you.
So it was kind of like that, and this was, not to date myself, but like this was before, this was like, we had FaceTime and things like that, but it wasn't like we have your social media now, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it was a challenge, but I think it was, to put it simply, man, I made a decision to choose myself. Before choosing anybody, including members of my family. Like, I needed to put myself first and feed and fill my own cup before I decided to like embark on a journey of trying to love somebody else if I didn't love myself.
Was that because when we talk about putting ourselves.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here, but shout out to him for doing long distance. As someone who did long distance relationship, I was here in Houston and my partner was over in Japan. Shout out to him for sustaining and keeping that relationship alive because that shows dedication. It shows dedication, but I agree when he says that therapy is a daily work. It's a daily chore, and not a chore, but it's a daily task of pouring into yourself. And you get what you give and like what you put into therapy. You know what I mean? So what you give in those sessions and even what you do as far as homework is what you're going to get out of it in those reflections and pouring into an empty cup, and then also choosing yourself at the end of the day, which is something that I'm learning where you can be kind and like do all these things, but also it's okay to say no. You're going to disappoint people and you're not going to make everyone happy in your life. Let's just be real. You're not going to make everyone happy, and choosing you at the end of the day is often going to end up with you ruffling people's feathers because they may be like, hey, well, I thought they were going to do this. I thought they were going to do that. But let's be real. We're all human beings and we're all going to go our own way. But choosing you at the end of the day is the best decision that you can make. And I truly believe that with therapy and just noticing certain patterns and twins for yourself and just doing the work even now, because I think people, especially in the Black community, they're just like, oh, well, if you're like, if you, especially in the Christian space, they're like, well, you can just pray it away and just give it to God. But I do believe in that. But I also believe that you also have to put in a type of work in order to undo the psychological work that you want done and to get rid of those unhealthy habits, because it's a daily practice. So I think that also putting in the work yourself into therapy can be beneficial for you. So I wanted to react to this because I was listening to the gym. I was going to the gym and listening to this while doing my workout for leg day. Don't ask me how that went, but my legs are killing me. But this was really impactful, and I just wanted to come on and share this with you guys because there is a lot of negative connotation about therapy, and it's just one of those things where men, we don't really talk about in like our men's spaces. But I want to start advocating for therapy and for Black men, not just Black men, but just men of all races. Go get help, go get therapy, because it's the best investment you'll make and you'll thank yourself later for it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with the friends so that we may continue to grow into the people that God wants us to be each and every day. It's your boy D Lou signing out. Take care.